Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Human Planet Show. My name is Marvin Marsh, and I am the host. Okay, tonight I'm going to talk about a lot of things, but first and foremost, let me give honor and praise to the United States of America. Bottom line, so whatever success that we have succeeded in, bottom line that it would come from. It started with the United States of America, our Constitution, and I know that's some constructive criticism and criticism towards the Constitution. But the Constitution that I think that I embrace and others embrace that Constitution. I want to thank God for the United States. Make sure you share this, okay, and subscribe. I'm going to keep it real tonight, okay? I've heard some things. I've sat and heard people talk, and they talk about generational wealth and so on, and also uh, a lot of, excuse me, tyrannical, which means that I think you know what tyrannical means. It's the power in terms of obstruction. It could be obstructing with this tyrannical power, obstructing the success or your whatever your path are, and it's just I don't believe that first and foremost. But I think before we could do anything, like I just did acknowledge the United States of America, bottom line. So let's give this thing a big round of applause. Those who don't want to give it a big round of applause, then you know what to do. Okay. And I think that when you talk about, and the topic is going to be generational, all right, generational wealth. And I think that they have some generational wealth. They talk about the generational curse. But I'm going to talk about generational wealth. But let's go back to the um, principles. Let's go back to the foundation of the so-called, well, the foundation of wealth in terms of so-called, what you call yourself, black people. On our show is Human Planet. I said people of color. First and foremost, we must acknowledge, okay? We must acknowledge your ancestors. Meaning this, you must acknowledge your aunts, your uncles, and your grandparents. Okay, I acknowledge Joe Billy and Eva Billy. Joe Billy, which was a man that congruity, which is in Sumter, which is in South Carolina, off of Platomere Road. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. The ones that are familiar with that, and he taught me and others that you can be whatever you want to be. Okay, generational wealth. Okay, I'm gonna get to some specifics on generational wealth, but let's focus on principles. Okay, let's talk about fundamental principles. Then you can talk about generational generation wealth. Okay, first and foremost, before you can become a man or a woman, bottom line, you got to be you're going to be 9 months. All right, with that beautiful woman, which is hold for 1 second, please. Which have to carry you for 9 months. Sometimes it's lesser than 9 months. And at that point in time, once you godly release from that woman, and you have a step by step what we call process from there to the toddler and so on and so on. You're going to get your teaching. In fact, my time and what we're talking about 50 years ago, 60 years ago, kind of thing, the teaching. Okay? So I'm going to give a big round of applause, and so I want you all to give a big round of applause to the teaching. And the teaching was that you work. And as you work, you plan. So when you plan, you work. It's pretty simple, bottom line. Now, I can go and say, well, generational wealth, and I can give my theory, and I can give my some research or some information that I've never researched about. But it all starts, and you all know what I'm talking about. It starts with a teacher, okay? It starts with the information. When I said information, I'm talking about realistic realism that you can see. What I mean, let me give you an example. Joe Billy, okay, Joe Billy, and the time when I was from Richmond coming down here, and with the tobacco. Now, if he already had, which mean had tobacco in that bond, that would have to be taken out. Meaning that you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 and that kind of thing, and get ready for the new crop. Bottom line, okay. And at that time, my aunts and my aunties and everybody was there for the crop. Bottom line, but my point of saying to you is that the planning, the teaching, the principles, the mannerism, okay, and that is what he taught me. You can sit all you want to and talk about generational wealth. Bottom line, but if you do not teach in terms of you can teach the currency. That's fine to teach about currency. Yeah, we familiar with currency. You know, you pay your bills with currency. But before currency, whatever that you're doing, if you're in the military and you have retired from the military, and I respect that. All right, if you're retired from companies, I respect that. But what is my point? My point of it is this. Through all of that, there were principles that someone acknowledged. All right, they acknowledged, which means that on your job you became what you were in. How can you say, just employee, a regular employee, and at that point you became a supervisor. And some from the supervisor, you guys that became the in some companies part of the corporate board. That's fine, but principle before we want to talk about generational wealth. Principles. Because if it's no principles are there, okay, if there's no principles in terms of caring and loving, and you want people around you to be profitable like yourself, bottom line, then you've got to teach that way before you excuse me for a second. By the way, this is apple juice. I don't want somebody to get carried away. So if I think that's something else, mix something, you know. Apple juice is good for you. So I think that the principles, and the reason why I'm talking about principles, these are principles. Principles, fundamental principles to love, to look out. Meaning this, let me tell you what I did. And I do this all the time, okay? And this is principles that I was taught, fundamental principles from Joe Billy. In the Dollar Tree, lady, you want to call her white? You guys call her white. I said human on my show. But you want to say white or whatever you guys want to do, you go right ahead. In Dollar Tree, she had a young man, she had a little girl, looked probably about 4 or 5 years of age. And what I did when I paid my tab, and I went back and I had a contribution. She said, "You don't have to do this." I said, "But I'm going to." And the little girl, she was there, and I said, "Come here, what's her name? What's her name? You want to call her white? It's human on my show, okay? Color, because we all, with my background, have color. Got some white, got some red, some black, and all of that." And I said, "You can give the money back if you want to." And I laughed at her. I said, "Take it." She said, "Thank you." Generational wealth is comprised of loving, caring, okay, sacrificing, to sacrifice, bottom line, to put others first. Bottom line. We can sit and talk about it all the time, talk about generational wealth, but if your extensions, meaning your grandchildren or what have you, or your children, don't have the information, don't have the fundamental principles, bottom line, what's going to take place? They're going to sell it, okay? They're going to neglect it, okay? Now we're talking about generational wealth, okay? It's a class, and with that class, I'm not talking about college, and I have nothing against college, but that comes from the source. That foundation, and that foundation is the grandmother, aunts and uncles. Bottom line, I give a big round of applause to those who, and I'm going to say with military, a retired military. I give a big round of applause to those who know about how to prepare an engine with an automobile. If you have some any kind of the problems with your automobile, that they know how to take care of that. I give a big round of applause. A plumber, I give a big round of applause. School teachers, firefighters, police officers, huge round of applause. Those that stand with the Constitution, the government Constitution, also the Constitution of human beings. Okay, of spiritual that how can you say that Constitution? Okay, but the thing of it is that way before the generational wealth, okay, there were principles. Plain and simple. You want to challenge me? Go right ahead and challenge me. I'll leave you my number once I leave. But by the way, you want to challenge me? I'm prepared all the time. Principles. Okay. I tell you what. I said I wrote this on a comedy, and I'm going to put the. I'm not going to use the words that I wrote the economy. I write about this a gift that I have, and I'm going to put this out to the men. Okay. Which would you rather catch your wife with? Her what's that said, infidelity, or she's going against the Bible commandments with another man? Okay, intimacy with another man to see her, or with a, how can you say, a technician or technology, a bag. A lot of people say a bag. What, a bag that can it's a I'm going to say medication bag. Which would you rather see? Yeah, I'm going to you're going to laugh at this. Which would you rather see your wife with? Well, I tell you what, I would rather see my wife with the bag. Okay? And I'm going to take that back. I'd rather see her with a person that she have admiration with, that man. You know why? Because he cannot outdo me. But that bag, and what's in that bag can, okay? I know you all are laughing. I let my buddies go say, Marvin, you're crazy. But my point is what I'm saying in terms of, I have to say that. Principles. Before anything, any currency, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, 380 million, $1 trillion, there are principles. And even though that the people that I think that have that kind of money, it's some kind of principles are there. If it weren't, which means that they wouldn't hire anybody that is working for them. Okay? They are principled within their self. Bottom line. And we need to focus on that. Well, it's about 13 minutes, going 19 seconds. Okay? So I think when we're talking about the principles and talking about the generational wealth, there are, how can we say here, the cultural those principles. Bottom line, I want each and every one of you all, okay, to do well. To do well in our country, okay? In our country. I want you to do well. I want you to look well. I'm like Marvin. I look well. No, I do, don't I? Wow. Sense of humor. Hey, Kim Jones, how you doing? This is your brother Marvin. Delta. It's a pleasure. I'm glad you guys came up for my birthday party. Really enjoyed you all. Okay. Bottom line, and what can I say? You guys know that Marvin is that caring individual. But I want to go back to again generational wealth. Some of you all, have experienced what I'm about to say. That were, how can I say, it was a distribution of that among family. Some of you all just didn't have the principle and knowledge. And as a result, you, with that generational wealth in terms of that was currency, liquid, what I'm talking about, liquid currency, you guys know what I'm talking about. Currency or land, You all know what I'm talking about. And if you did have the principles, the fundament of the caring and the understanding that was I can say was stipulated, and actually were actually not only the stipulation, but the fact of it is they lived it. And if you don't have that, what did you do? I can tell you, you sold that generational that come from that generational wealth, the currency. The currency was given away quickly. The land was what? You know what I'm talking about. You sold it. That hard work from your granddad and grandmom and the parents, your parents, and a lot of them, what they did, and a lot. Now tell parents, make sure you teach them. You can live your life. Okay, you want to live that life flying across the world? That's fine. Okay, but for you to do that, there were principles that was taught to you. Then teach it to your children. Because if it's not taught, what they'll see is really just how can we say Gucci? You want to use that word? They can fly across. My parents fly across the world. I can fly across the world as well. But if you don't teach them, and when you're going into paradise, and that's going to happen to all of us, it's not going to be paradise for them, because what they're going to do because of lack of concentration and information given to your children, culture, then what's going to take place? Nothing. They're going to end up broke. Bottom line. You all know what I'm talking about. You all know what I'm talking about. So we can talk about generational wealth, and that's fine, generational wealth. But you know what? I would rather, and if you have that, first I'm not going to talk about the materialism, then your generational, then your currency, the materialism, currency. When you focus the wrong way on the currency, or how you display yourself with the currency, right? Showing all, you guys all on, everybody's doing all my money. This is what I got. Yo, this is what I got. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sooner or later, you're broke. So let me get back to if parents, your children, of course, fly around the country, the world, and that kind of thing, but teach them. Let them know that even though whatever, if you're worth 10 million or if you're worth a billion, that it's a budget. I'm gonna talk about that at another time. There's a budget. If you don't think it's a budget, bottom line, then I tell you what. Why don't you? How can you say? The individuals that work for you, don't pay them, which means that your money is going into something that is undesirable. Bottom line, and it's selfish, okay, and it's selfish, and you were turned on by a con person. Sounds political, sounds great, and honey, I'm going to invest for a month. We just have to deal with some kind of political, I'm not going to say political, but company policy to our employees that we're going to triple their salary after 30 days, or double their salary, triple after 30 days. Bottom line, not good. And the fact of the matter is that you don't know if you've gotten away from the principles and culture, and then your money was taken and gone. What are you going to tell them? The faculty, then at one point in time, they can, an attorney, a great attorney, that care and understand that you don't have for the attorney fees, a group of you all, and say that what we're going to do, we're going to take this thing to trials here. And we're going to make sure that whatever the faculty, you're going to get your pay. And during that 30 days, these people went through so much. You probably think I'm digressing, but I'm not digressing, okay? I'm talking about going back to the generational wealth, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm trying to show you all generational wealth is fine, right? But principles, okay? We can say generational wealth and say generational principles. Okay? What's that, 20 minutes? Principle. Because if they don't have the teaching, the fundamental steps, bottom line, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right? It's an old, what you call a cliche or something expression. You're going to turn over in your grave. Because everything that you work for is gone. Why? Because of ignorance. Because you was more focused on yourself. You thought about generational wealth. You talked about generational wealth. But in terms of applying the fundamental principles and the steps, bottom line, is to stay basic. Okay? And not be, how can we say, is it categorize or I can use that word if I want to, right? But let not the commercials influence you and say, well, you got to have that. You got to have that. Bottom line. That was tried on me. Guess what? It backed off me fast. It's just like a force group. Which was force grill? Force field? This force field kind of thing there. Because I said no. Absolutely not. It's good to go out and dine. I'm talking about, if you don't apply the generational, you're talking about generational wealth. Now, generational wealth, but go out, let me, because I can talk so much, and this is what I do. But it's good to go out and you can dine and impress. A lot of y'all impress. Guys, y'all knew what I'm talking about. You go impress and red wine and fabulous restaurants. Doggone well, you can't afford it, right? But what you have is temporarily. It's just, and so with that is there, which means that you figure 60 days you're good. Man, go beyond that. I'm gonna go back to generational wealth. Means this. Okay, and you all can say, what is he talking about? It's a contradiction. He's digressing. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going right back to that generational wealth that you're leaving. You better educate those children. College and school is great, but I'm talking about what? Practical judgment. Do you all know what that means, practical judgment? If you don't know what it means, then you can ask somebody. You ask me. Common sense of teaching. Absorbing that and how to perpetuate what your parents back there, they taught you how to do what? Hold on to a what? A dollar. Hold on to a what? Let me say that again. A dollar. A dollar means 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40, 50, 100,000, 200,000. What got you there? What's the principles? Do not deviate. Do not separate yourself from those principles. Because when you do, right? And when you become broke, the same people that was around you, they're going to separate themselves from you. Not only that, they're going to talk about you. Bottom line. Generational wealth. Hold for a second. Apple juice is great. They also, you can talk about the generational curse. I don't know what that, I would apply that to me as a generational, presently curse. I'm going to use that. You guys know what I'm talking about? You got some so-called educated people there, which means that they're applying in terms of information, presently giving you information. And that information is, when I said curse, the information is not well. And you apply that, this generation, that you got the money, right? But the presently people, they're applying certain things even before you know you're broke. Bottom line. Man, I feel so good. Let me say something. And Sometimes someone said the generation of curse breaking. Generation of curse breaking. To me, I'm going to put that in one word: ignorance. Generation curse breaking. It's a generation curse breaking. The curse, what they call it, a curse or whatever, but the fact of it is to break that. And that's going to come with what? Up today, 2021, it's going to come with what? Cultural language. Basic language. To stay basic. Do not indulge into, how can we say, materialism. Okay? Don't let the advertisement get you to a point that it would break you. Okay? So when they say, let me look at this word that's again, generational or generation curse or breaking the curse or what have you. Okay? They're going to break that. And up today, a lot of people, my human planet, they spend, when I'm going on 26 minutes, they spend, young people, you all spend, okay? My human planet, young people, you spend like it's no tomorrow. You'll spend like all the essentials are taken care of. Meaning this, you want to pay water bill, light bill, right? Some of y'all with car notes or whatever. That it don't exist, or that someone else is going to come and take care of it for you. And the possibility, feasibility, the fact of this, people have been taking care of that for you. You know your moms. I'm going to do it this time. But you got to stop doing what you're doing. That guy you with, you better leave him alone. Mommy, you're right. Bottom line. I'm going back to what we call the generational wealth. And I'm giving examples. Okay. I'm giving examples. So when we're going to generational wealth, okay, and one thing about me, I'm a Scorpio. I look at things differently, but I can when I research it, and it makes sense. See, you can talk about generational wealth. You can get on TV and you can talk about, well, I'll tell you, I am prepared and I have generational wealth and or for my children. I've been married about 12 times. And what can I say? That's just the way life is, you know? And each of my 12 wives have 3 houses. Bottom line. You had this crazy vision. You can keep going and keep going. Now you're broke. Bottom line. I'm not going to give any names. I'm not going to give any names. At millions and millions of dollars. Bottom line. And now they're struggling. Do I want that? No, I don't. Something that they didn't listen to. Something that they were not taught. Generational wealth. Within generational wealth, it's what? It's currency. Not only is currency what? It's conversation. I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to say this with generational wealth. Those who articulate in generational wealth, make sure you articulate the fundamental principles. Okay? Because you can talk about it. Oh, my grand, I have everything there. I'm going to millionaire. I'm so, because you're not going to be here all the time. And I'm being positive. I'm being realistic because even myself, we're not going to be here. Bottom line, teach the principles. teach the principle. Because if you don't teach those principles, you're not going to have problems. Because in fact, you're in paradise. I don't want to get into the religious kind of thing there and paleology, anthropology, and stuff like that. I'm prepared for that, but no, not now. Bottom line, I don't want to. We this is where we have this beautiful planet, United States, in terms of which we live at. I don't want to get into the reincarnation. I say, but I am. The guy said, Marv, you'll get into the reincarnation. Okay, all right. We'll talk about that at another time. You know, um, the aliens and so on. We're going to talk about that. But bottom line, generational wealth. You can set in the conversation. You feel good, right? You are the light is on you because that group, right, may not have what you have, but you're talking about generational wealth. And the fact of it is that what you're doing is your distribution by paper through your lawyers. Bottom line. But you're not talking about the principles. That it's going to have a continuation. Okay? That continuation of generation wealth when it goes back hundreds of years, kind of thing. And what's going to take place is what can keep that going. Okay, if this currency still be, I don't want to talk about it, if the currency is going to be still in existence. You teach the fundamental principles. I didn't give it all to you, but teach the fundamental principles, okay? Caring, basic, the gullibility, don't become that. Because that gullibility, it can cause problems for you. It can cause problems for you, bottom line, that gullibility, okay? I don't want to get too deep with it. But I'm talking about leaving what you call or focusing on generational wealth. A lot comes with that. I'm thinking, oh God, I look pretty good, don't I? I look good, don't I? I know. I want you to subscribe. Make sure you share Human Planet. Okay, Marvin Marsh. I'm the host, Human Planet. Okay. Those who want to, by the way, I'm legitimate. So those who want to give, you can, because the fact of it is we got Thanksgiving, of course, you have Christmas coming up. Bottom line, I'm great. You want to check me out in South Carolina, what we call the Human Planet. Human Planet. Secretary of State, I'm great. Okay? You got some of you guys talking, but you don't even have you talk all this what you got, but you can't even contribute $1. I'm gonna be direct with you. You can't even contribute $1. Why is that? Huh? You better watch the ignorance of generational wealth. Why? Yeah, let me point this out. Oh, by the way, my great granddaughter in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. I'm gonna be coming up. Okay, my great-granddaughter. She's a few months. And I saw the smile today. My great-granddaughter in Richmond, Virginia. Tanisha, it's your granddad. Bottom line, but that's my, of course, my granddaughter and my great-granddaughter in Richmond, Virginia. I will be coming up. I'm going to be there for probably like 10 days or so. But I looked on Facebook, and she's so beautiful. She is really so beautiful. Bottom line, so I'll be coming up. But those who want to give, that's up to you all right? I'm good. But it's a lot of people out here, bottom line, they need that help. Okay? So when you do Cash App, see, that's up to you. I'm going to continue. We don't give a doggone thing. I'm like, you damn. Doggone. That's fine. But there'll be a point in your life, right? You're going to wish that you would have contributed something. Do what I do. I tell you what, meet me at the Dollar Trees, okay? And be prepared. When you can sit and look because the experience that I have and the spiritual knowledge that I have, when they come to that to pay that the items that they have, I'm there sometimes and I take care of that for them. Okay? Why don't you try it? Cash App. It's It's a great thing. Uh, I'm looking at some. Bear with me. They're going like, what's this guy going to do? Okay, yeah. All right, don't let me get gangster, man. All right. Yeah, Marv, you not like that. I am. I'm a runner. But you could go on Cash App and you'll see dollar sign. You'll see dollar sign uh, Marvin Marsh 15. You'll see that. I think it's that. If you give somebody else, that's on them, man. They may take your money and I don't know. Marvin, there's a dollar sign. Dollars, you know what that is? Dollar sign. In case you all forgot your college degree. Dollar sign Marvin Marsh 15. If you want to do some research, do it. Call me, okay? 803-458-6404. Let's talk. 803-458-6404. Marvin, dollar sign Marvin Marsh. Okay, look at me. All right, 68 years of age. Most people say I look pretty good. You know, so everybody can't be lying if you know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody can't. But say, Marvin, you look pretty good. And I say, thank you guys. I can't say that about some of you all. Oh, you look. I better stop that, okay? You know, the Scorpios kind of guy. You know, this perfectionist kind of thing, right? Generational wealth. I'm going to end with it. Generational wealth. If you have that you can do that distribution. You can distribute. You can have everything set up. Bottom line, but do you really have the teaching? Is that beyond the currency? You better think beyond the currency, which means that it's just like a tool, but it has to come here, which means for investments. But you've got to have what? The teaching. I call it intellect. Intellectualism. Principles. Cultural intellectualism. Intellect take control. Intellect, subconscious, the conscious mind. Oh, okay, all right, good to get into something. Conscious and subconscious mind. Bottom line, I love for mine to dictate because it's there. The principle, the basics. On what? I got some nice eyes too, right? On what? Not to get broke. And those, like I said, make sure you share this. Bottom line is, and keep in mind that, like I said, that's up to you guys. If you don't, I can give. Some of y'all, some of you guys, your people are so negative. Well, I ain't gonna give nothing. Something not right. You know it ain't right. But then challenge me, buddy. See, more women give than the guys because the guys is like, you so, not everybody, but you're narrow-minded, You're so narrow-minded. You non-conservatives. And say, I started something. I got to go, man. I want to thank you guys. And our topic, that was what we talked about, generational wealth. Bottom line, the generational wealth thing, but not only apply the generational wealth, the information, the principles, okay, the academics, and I'm going to say that with that, it's not hard, but it has to be repetitious, pretty much, on you guys' side, okay, which means you have to constantly it has to be a consistency of teaching. Bottom line, it has to be a consistency of teaching, and it starts at an early age, okay. Now I got to get out of here. Yep. Marvin, where are you going to go? Well, I just said I have to get out of here. Bottom line. Okay, I'm trying to impress. Thank you guys so much. And remember, subscribe and pass this on. Okay? And remember one thing. On this planet, bottom line, we're humans on this planet, was designed by God. And to put us here. And to put us here, it meant something. He knew, yet what? That we will prevail. And that we would keep according to his words, right? Righteousness, that we would keep it going. Yes. Yes. Bottom line. I love what I talked about. Generational wealth. People, I'm generational wealth. I just got to get it there and put it right there. That's all. And when something takes place where you have this in your account, and the attorney say, "Well, this is yours, this is," but you don't have anything else, right? It was never taught. People, teach it. You want to challenge Marvin? You have my number. I already said it. Then challenge me. Okay? Bottom line. I look forward to it. But if you're stupid and ignorant, I'm going to block you. Bottom line. Everything I said tonight, I think was encouraging, motivating. Very motivating. Very motivating. Because the humans on this planet, we all have talent. Bottom line. We have that talent. We have that talent as being humans, as to walk and to talk and to laugh and to get sad and to cry and to be happy. We have that. Generational wealth, let's teach it's got to go. You guys take care.